Hello. All right. Well, welcome to my first live that may not work at all. I can't see anybody in the chat room, so not completely sure. I think Bear Prepper is here. Oh, hi, Bear. Thanks for joining me. Oh, how exciting. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know what to say just trying to figure this out. I wasn't even sure that this was actually going to go live right at 7, but it looks like it did. So that's pretty cool. There's two people watching. Wonder if Paula is in here. Paula? Okay, well, um, this is Winter, but I call her Summer. Hey, you. Hey, say hi. I call her Summer because I hate winter. So I like to give her a name that I really, really like. So what we're going to do tonight, I'm just going to show you a couple little grooming tips and tricks and a couple different tools that you can use during at home grooming or in between grooming appointments. So, winter, summer. Live notice just came up. Oh, thank you, Bear. Okay, so I think I'm not Paula. Darla Daly. I'm not Paula. That's okay. You don't need to be Paula. It's okay. Anyways, so I'm just gonna show you a couple little grooming ideas, and hopefully you can use these tips for at-home grooming, like in between grooming appointments, or just to save some money at home. So, um, I think I'll just get started, and then maybe come back to the chat. So, you have a puppy I can groom. I think, aren't you the one with the giant dogs? No insanity. Aren't you the one that has the humongous braids? I can't remember what you said you had. Uh-huh. We'll talk. Maybe you can take some of these tips and use them at home. But basically, her coat is in really pretty good condition. She was probably groomed professionally. She was groomed probably like last August, and it's now what, April, the end of April. But she could be groomed once a year, and she never gets to be like a huge matted mess. So that's kind of nice. But the area that is the thickest on her is her back end, her trousers, and she's a double coated dog. And what so I am a stickler on not shaving double coated dogs, and this is like kind of a controversy. A lot of people think that it can be done, but I've seen it over and over where it ruins their coat and their hair doesn't grow back, and they can end up with like major skin problems. So a lot of people say, "Oh, we've been shaving our dog for years and his coat looks the same," but it doesn't, because if I saw that dog walk in the shop and I've never met that dog before, I can tell that that dog's unshaved. It absolutely ruins her coat. So, what I'm going to start with her on is my slicker brush. And if she were in really bad shape, I would be using mat splitter. And what this is on this side, it's safe. On this side, it's like razor blades. And what it does is it kind of chops through the hair, or just like shaves the mats out. So it breaks the mats apart. So a lot of the tools, I've been grooming for over 31 years. So a lot of the tools that I will pick up a name actually have different names now because we were very limited 30 some years ago on the tools and for many years on the different tools that we had. So some of the names that I will name them aren't actually what if you went and looked them up on Amazon or whatever, they're going to be named something different. But the tools that I show in the videos, I will put links in the description box below after the video, and then you can go and find your own price on where to find them. But so I am going to show you how to use the mat splitter. This is a tool that you want to be super duper careful with, and the danger areas on a dog are obviously like their sanitary area, their armpits, their toes, their ears are another area that they can get cut or, brush burn really easy. And also the hock, so like this area on the dog, no matter what you're using, you never want to just go directly and brush straight on the hock. You want to, brush from the sides. So the mat splitter, what this does is she is in kind of bad shape. So this tool will show you some what it does on this coat. So basically, you just want to like lift up the hair and go in layers. This is kind of ruins the coat a little bit, so I don't like to use it when I don't have to. But so I'm not going to use it down here where she's not super matted. But up here, you can just feel this big ball of like undercoat that's got kind of matted. And so what I'll do is go in and chop and just kind of go almost up to the skin and just kind of go in chopping motions. And then go to the next layer and do the same thing. And so while I'm doing this, obviously I can't like read the chat, but welcome to anybody that is here. And just keep going in chopping motions. Now, if they have a tail, you want to make sure that you move their tail to the side so you don't actually get the tail in between the blades. And so you just keep chopping. And if the dog protests, if like she were turning around biting at me, obviously it's gonna hurt. It's hurting her. So you'd want to stop or figure something else out. So once I get that whole area done, then I can go back with the slicker brush and work on that whole area again. And so, like I said, you never want to come down on the back of the hock, but you can just brush in layers. All the way around. And once you get one layer brushed out, you can actually hear the brush catching on the hair. So like that noise, there's still a tangle in there. And so I don't want to move on to the next layer until I get that worked out. So another way to tell if you got the mat worked out or not is to take a metal comb and go through the hair all the way down to the skin. If you have hesitation, like right there, the comb got stuck, that's hesitation. And so I'm going to want to work on that area again. And I'm also being really cautious of the color and the temperature of the skin. And so what I'll do sometimes is like there's a little tangle right here that I can't get through. And so I'll kind of pinch it behind the mat and then I'm brushing on my fingers. And that doesn't hurt me, but their skin is a lot more delicate and sensitive. So I'll just get through this little area. And like a lot of people think, oh, well, why does it take so long to groom a dog? Well, this is why, because you have to be super duper careful of their skin and not hurting them. And a lot of times she's cooperating, but a lot of times they don't cooperate. And so once I can get all the way down to the skin in that area, then I can move on to the next section. And so this hair that I use the mat splitter, and I don't like to keep that on the table just because I don't want her to step on it. But anyways, so then I will just go through with the slicker brush and try to work out that stuff that I loosened up. And sometimes this takes many applications. So you keep going over the same area. So I'll work all the way up, even though I know I'm not getting all that coat out. But what I'm getting out right now is I'm getting out that stuff that I use the mat splitter for. And you'll see in a second that my brush is full of hair. And so just clean that out and then go back and repeat. So it's like rinsing and repeating. And with this mat splitter also, you can feel, if you're catching on here, you can work on that area a little bit more. So I'm not in my actual grooming shop, so like a lot of the stuff that I have there, um, makes a lot more sense. Like I have an extra arm on the table there that I can hook the dog up, and so she doesn't keep sitting down. So she's just going to keep sitting down through this, which is fine. It's kind of just her way of protesting and saying, I don't want this done. She feels so good when she's done. And she's actually going to go to work with me tomorrow. Like I said, I'm grooming her at home right now, just doing this for the demonstration. And then tomorrow she'll go in for her bath and then the final neatening up and trimming and everything. So right there, I've got hesitation. And so I'm going to need to go through that area again. But all the way down here, I can get through all this. And so wherever I have problems, then I just need to start again and work on that area. So I think I'm just gonna brush this out quick and then check the chat. This is my first time going live, you guys. And so I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know if I'll do this again, but thank you for everybody that has joined me so far. So, but what I was saying about checking the temperature of the skin and the color of the skin, obviously I can't see her skin in this area right now, but I can feel it. And I know what color her skin is supposed to be. But if the skin starts getting like red or it starts feeling warm, you're brushing too much and it's brush burn. So just like when men shave and they get like the redness on their face and it really burns, that's razor burn. So brush burn can be super duper painful. And areas that are prone to getting brush burn are like the hips, the hock, if you're not careful right there, and like around the ears, because their skin is like, it's not, it maybe is thinner right there, but they don't have a lot of fat. And so like on the hip bone, there's not a lot of fat right there. And so you just have to be just super duper careful, but you also want to get down with the skin at the same time. So. All right, so I'm just gonna check the chat here and see how everybody's doing. Oh, your dog loves the pond. Well, she loves the pond too, and actually she will only drink out of a pond, which is kind of crazy. You're all good, pet? All right, well, I'm just gonna keep working on her then. Not gonna groom this whole dog in this video, but I just thought I would just do a couple little things in here. Some of the brushes that also would work on her. This is like kind of an old-fashioned brush, but this would work really good to work out that undercoat. And it's the shape of the teeth in this one. So I don't know if you can see from there, but what this is doing is just pulling out like all this dead fuzzy undercoat that's ready to come out. Also a rake is really good. So these are rakes and they look the same, only they're different colors. But the teeth on them, not only the difference in the metal, but how far the teeth are apart and how the length of the teeth make a really big difference. So, and I know not everybody at home can just go out and buy like 40 different undercoat rakes to figure out which one works for their dog. But certain ones will work on certain coats and like certain areas of her body. So like this one may work back here better, and this one may work more like on the longer hair. So on her back, she has like not as long of hair as she does on her butt and her furnishings, like her her legs and her neck and her chest and everything. She's got a big mat right there too. So. Anyway, so what I'll do for grooming her is I'll get her like completely brushed out where all the tangles and mats are, and then I'll bathe her because it's super duper important to get the tangles and that dead undercoat out before you stick your dog in the tub. And the reason is, well, there's a lot of reasons, but you're not going to get that dog clean if the dog's coat is like matted up and there's a whole bunch of undercoat like blocking the skin. So it's like throwing a sock in the washing machine that is all balled up. You're not going to get it completely clean, and then for drying you're not going to get that dog completely dry. And also it's super important, and this is on even hairless breeds, let's say a Chinese crested, hairless Chinese crested, you're going to want to go over that dog completely before you put that dog in the tub. And the reason is they don't have any hair, but you want to stimulate the skin so that all those pores open up and release all the oils and dirt and everything, because that way you're going to get the dog really super duper clean. And so like with these coats, once I get all this undercoat out and bathe her, it's going to stimulate the skin to the point where it's going to start releasing the hairs that aren't quite ready to start shedding yet. Um so like a lot of times the dog will come into the grooming shop, and when we send them home, the owners are like, even though we've got a pile of hair, and I'm talking piles, the owner will be like, yeah, last time I brought him in, he was really good and clean, and I could, get through his coat and everything, but he shedded so much the day that he came home or the next day even. And it's because that skin is stimulated, and it's releasing all those hairs that are almost ready to start shedding on their own. And just the way that the hair follicle works, that muscle contracts and stimulates those undercoat hairs, the secondary hairs, and all of a sudden they just start falling out. And so that's why you'll see dogs shed more when they get nervous, or all of a sudden they just are really super dandruffy. Or another thing that is really great is when a dog comes into the shop and they're absolutely covered in wood ticks, and all of a sudden you see ticks like popping off the dog, like wood ticks, seriously, and like big fat wood ticks flying off the dog. And it's because the pore is opening up, and sorry, because the follicle opens up, and then because they're stimulated, they're nervous, their skin crawls, like when they get upset, their hackles will, their hair on their hackles will stick up. So I have no idea what I was doing or talking about. I kind of got off track there, but bathing, you just want to make sure that you get all that undercoat out, and especially like mats on a dog, like Sadie, my Shih Tzu. If I were to bathe her with mats in the coat, I'm not going to get it really clean. So, anyways, any questions? The comb tool, that is a great tool. Can that at our pet store. The which one? The undercoat rake, or the undercoat rake? No one's family, is that what you're talking about? Any of these things that I show, I'll put the links in the bottom, and then you can find them on Amazon. Most pet stores sell these, but with dogs that have a thicker coat, you're going to want not teeth that aren't so many teeth like so close together. So like let's say this is like a 30 tooth comb. If you have a really thick dog like a Samoyed, you're probably going to want like a 20 tooth comb. The other one that I showed, the one with this one, the mat splitter. Yes, maybe if you scare your dog, the tick will fly right off. You never know. It's like the hiccups. Boo. the mat splitter. Okay, so the mat splitter. So they make the style of mat splitter. It just depends on, like, I have arthritis, and so this one that you put your thumb on this little guard right here, and you use it like this. This one hurts my wrist a lot, and so this one just works better for me, for my motions. So I hope that's the tool that you're talking about. But yeah, yeah. So Ryan's Pet Supply and Groomer's Choice are and Pet Edge are like grooming catalogs that we order from. And so obviously I'm gonna support them before I would support like Amazon or anybody else, but you can probably find it way cheaper on Amazon. But the Paw Brothers tools from Ryan's Pet Supply are seriously some of my favorite. Like this one here, I don't even know how old this is. It's very old. Um, it's it. They last a long time, and they're just um, really good tools. Paw Brothers is the name brand. So maybe I will put the links in there for the Paw Brothers. So, but yeah, that's a really good tool, but you just have to be really good and careful of it. I've worked at quite a few different grooming shops over the years, and I actually saw one groomer, and she was mat splitting a dog's tail, and she wasn't careful, and she just like sliced the tail. So that was kind of scary. Um, what else? Toenails, pop pads. I don't have my clipper up here, but so I don't know if did you guys all get the notice that I was going what? Oh, the tail. That I was going live. Did you guys all get that? How many dogs do I have? I only have one right now. I I've had a lot. I don't know if you guys can see that ladder in the corner over there. Those are just some of my dogs. They're paw prints, and most of them have lived to a ripe old age. My last little bout of dogs, I had a poodle named Earl. He was in some of my videos, and I had a little Maltese named Minion. And who else did I have at the same time? Well, I acquired Sadie, my Shih Tzu that I've got right now. My mom died, and that's why I acquired her. And then Earl and Minion died about the same time. But I also had a lot of foster Shelties so I see, that's why I always keep my hand on the dog because she just her foot slipped off the other side. But anyway, so I only have one right now. So, but I've had like up to 7 at the same time, 7 animals, dogs and cats. Some pretty amazing stories and memories. So um so they didn't used to do that pop print thing back in the day. And once they started doing it, obviously I took advantage of it. But I work at a vet clinic, and I remember when they started doing the paw prints, and they actually used my poodle as like a model, and did a little paw print out of his foot, and it was like a terrible. They didn't have like a mold that they could cut into or whatever, and I think they just used like a pen to carve his name in it, and so now we have like stamps and all that stuff. But I saved that paw print of Earl's for years. So yeah, 7 at one time. That's a lot. Okay, you did get it. Okay, that's good. That's good. So I don't know. Like, should I keep Summer up here? Because I don't know why I thought this was gonna go way different. Um, 'Cause I love to teach, and I don't know if I'm losing my train of thought or or what's going on. Maybe it's just like the aura of the room, but she is getting a full groom tomorrow, so I can finish this tomorrow. But maybe I'll just sit down and chat for a little bit, and then she can take a break and run around the room. And sorry, I lift a little funny nowadays because I'm getting old. Well, thank you guys for being here for sure. What do I do about hot spots? Hot spots. Well, um, actually, Bears, I don't know if you know this, but your daughter just called me not too long ago about hot spots. And I can't think of the name of it right now, but that powder that you use, like that cooling body powder, um, big hot spots. Um, what is the name of it? They make a lotion. Anyways, like the cooling foot powder. Use that and then like an antiseptic soap. So first you wash the area really good with antiseptic soap and get all the hair around it first. Like if you need to shave a little bit around the hot spot, clean that area with the antiseptic soap, rinse it really, really good. Rinsing is the key. And then dry it and then put that cooling powder on it. And hotspots can be like the biggest nightmare. They can start out like the size of a dime. When you leave for work, you wouldn't even know they're there. And when you get home from work, like the whole back end of the dog is chewed up and it looks like road rash, and I can imagine it feels the the same way. So, but that works really well. And then you would just like redo that like 3 times a day at the beginning, and maybe get your dog a cone or something just to keep them from chewing at that area. So dust your chickens for mites. That's your favorite video. Um, oh yeah, that whole chicken mite thing. That was the biggest nightmare. Are you talking about when Bear was okay? So Bear Prepper, anybody that's watching, Bear Prepper is one of my dearest friends, and she came and stayed with me. And I hope you're okay telling me the story, but um, okay. So I went to get like 20 new chickens, like and Bear was tired, so she stayed home and took a nap. And while I was gone, I started itching, especially around my belly. And I got back and I'm like, Bear, are you itching? Because I just went to this lady's house and I hope I didn't give her chicken mites because while I was gone, I looked it up and found out that we had chicken mites. And yeah, that was quite the for tear stains. Well, so my little Maltese, tear staining can be caused by a lot of different things. What I used to recommend was to make sure that there's no red beet dye in the food, and I don't know how much I believe in that anymore, but that's one thing that you can look at. I swear that my dog woke up one day and he was just like riddled with it. It looked like he was bleeding from his eyes. And um, so I tried a lot. I switched his diet. He wasn't neutered when I got him. And um, so my friend that's a breeder, she said, get him neutered right away because that's probably what's causing. And she's a Maltese breeder. He was Maltese. And so I got him neutered and nothing changed. I ended up having to get his eye tear ducts flushed. And as soon as I did that, it went away. So it could be a lot of things. It can be the teeth. It can be heart problems or liver, kidney problems. I think I read. Um, it just can be so many different things. Now, for like a topical or anything that you can do at home, no, I'm sorry, no. Just cleaning it, so they don't have that eye matter build up. in, just taking a warm rag if you can every day, and like a flea comb. Um, so a flea comb is just like a tiny little tooth comb. And so, depending on the breed of your dog and how much the hair they have, but if you soften that area with warm water and then like go back to it and then go in and try to work that matter out with the flea comb, and then every day you can just, do the same thing, and then it's not, there's no buildup, so it's easy to take care of. But eye staining can be just like the biggest nightmare because I've seen dogs that have come in and their face is actually like infected under there, and we have no option but to remove it. So, that's we soften it and then remove it with the clipper. And sometimes they have like open gaping wounds that are bleeding underneath the eye matter. So yeah, the chicken mites. My laundry room was like you'd come through the long barn and then the laundry room before the kitchen and the rest of the house. We would have to get naked in the laundry room and run right to the shower and like shampoo with like uh flea shampoo, and I went and got a bunch from work, and that Rid lice shampoo that was a lot. Tons. Yeah, yep, they have a lot of staining. So when you get like if you have anything done where they're put under like a dental or getting your dog spayed or neutered, uh ask your vet if even beforehand if they are willing to flush out the tear ducts, because that's what it took with him, and I never had to do it again. So oh boy, somebody cheated on their schoolwork. Not good. Not good. Thanks for being here, though. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we're just gonna call you No. All right. Well, I don't know. Um, what do you think, Summer? So how do you know what's next? Yeah, Cinderella, just ask them ahead of time because I don't know if all vets are willing to do that or not. But Darla, you used to watch all of our videos. Do you still watch them? Um, the brown stuff. Okay, Bear. So are you talking about the brown stuff in the dog's ears? Like if they have a lot of brown stuff? So if it, well, it depends on what like if it just looks like dirt, like if you went out in the garden and then you took a Q-tip and cleaned in, um, in between your toes, and that's what the Q-tip looks like, then it's probably just dirt. Now, if it is like the color of coffee grounds or like dark earwax and there's an abundance of it, then you either have a bacterial or a yeast infection. So a lot of people come into the vet clinic for grooming, and I tell them your dog's got, something going on in his ears, which I can't diagnose. And so I tell them to, have the vet look at it, and oh no, that's okay. We got stuff at home from the last time he had an ear infection. Now, If your dog has a bacterial infection and you're using medication from last time he had an infection and it was a yeast infection, and you're treating for a yeast infection when it's bacterial, you can cause that dog or cat a lot more harm than you're doing good, or vice versa. So if you're treating for bacteria and it's yeast, it can be bad. So it's thick, but his ears have never been clean in about 10 years. Well, let's just see what we've got, shall we? Um, what's wrong? I don't know why she cried. I picked her up. Okay, honey. I have to make sure to tell her mom about that. So, okay, so ear cleaning, super duper important. Unless a vet tells you to, I never recommend pouring the ear cleaner into the ear, even if it's got a drying agent in it. There's if you're not going down that far to clean, don't put liquid in there. It's going to cause problems later. So, well, I'm kind of bummed out because the ears look really good. But what I do is I will take the ear cleaner and get the ear or the cotton ball and the Q-tips like really super saturated, and then I don't have any ear cleaner here, so I just used my imaginary ear cleaner, and then go in and clean all the way around and get in all those grooves. And you can go pretty darn deep into the dog's ear. Oh, she likes that. Look at that. Trying to get some dirt on here, but there isn't much on there, and it's a little bit brown rather than black. So that's probably just like earwax. But with the Q-tip, now the Q-tip, you can put this farther than you think in the dog's ear, but because their ear canal is down lower, so the ear canal, is down lower, or the eardrum. And so, but what I do is I like to put my fingers and lock them on the Q-tips so that I don't go further than I should. And so then just go in and get through all those crevices. And her ears are just like pretty spotless, but there's a little bit on there. I don't know if you can see with the lighting, just a little bit. But if you're pulling gunky stuff out, then I would definitely just um, talk to your vets. With COVID, a lot of vets will let you just bring in the samples, or they did. Um, well, hi from Illinois. Brown stuff coming out of the ears. Yeah, just talk to your vet, and maybe they'll let you bring in samples. Make sure to keep track of which one comes from the right and the left ear. But I would definitely get it checked out. So because they have to look at it under the scope and see, if it's bacterial or fungal, or bacterial or an infection, or bacterial or yeast. Sorry, said a brain fart there. Brown, no frown. Where in northern Illinois? So, what else? Toenails. We could do some toenails. I could show you that. Or I don't know if the lighting is good enough in here, but with a bigger dog, I'm concerned about why she cried. With a bigger dog, a lot of times it's easier to have somebody else hold, or if you can get your knee underneath their tummy, that kind of works as a third arm. And then what you can do is just lift up the foot and then bring the foot up to your face and bring your face down to the foot. You don't want to be lifting this foot up too far. So and then just clip, clip. I got that one a little bit too short. But you can see that she didn't react. I didn't react. She didn't react. So I'm just going to hold a quick step on that for just a tiny second. Get that to stop. And then I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to like stop and act like, oh my God, you poor thing. Because that's just going to make the dog but if I didn't have my knee underneath her right now, she'd be sitting down and struggling a lot more and feeling really super duper uncomfortable. And I'm 50, so trying to get my knee off this table is a whole nother video in itself. So when I'm doing the front legs, what I'm gonna do, if this table was a little bit lower, which I can lower this table, but it'd be a lot during this video. I'm just gonna lift her foot up and then go underneath to clip. Or you can just go up in front, like if that, the lighting or just being able to see better. And lift the dog's foot up in front of them. A lot of dogs, if they can see what you're doing, they're not going to be as good for their nails. Or you might take the chance of getting bit. So there's just so many different holds on dogs. And it all depends on the size of the dog, where you're working, like your workstation. That matters, so. Anyways. Does the vet muzzle him? This dog? I have a catalog in my cards. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up here. I have pulled muscles like that, and I have groomed cats where I'll have to have my leg on the counter to like hold their tail or whatever. Oh, sorry. I thought somebody was asking something. My grand dog is like, I don't know, he's like a 90-pound dog, and he is evil for his toenails. And I want to get over there to do a video on showing how we do his toenails. He cannot see the muzzle before. If he sees the muzzle, he knows we're gonna do his toenails, and he just starts like barking, and it's a big shit show, really. But I want to show how we do it because it takes 3 of us. 2 of them have to hold him in a lateral hold, and then I pretty much lay on him, and then I do the trimming. But there's just every dog is different, and some dogs, like, she's really, really good. And she's getting a little bit older, so it's harder for her to stand, but yeah. So just make sure that stop bleeding, and then she can get down on the carpet. Your workstation is the couch. Mine has been the couch a few times in my life. Sadie actually, oh, I was gonna say I could do her nails right now, but she's at the neighbors. We traded dogs for the evening, but my little Shih Tzu, she gets groomed on the couch a lot, you know, just use a lint roller afterwards. Um, so I don't know. I'm just looking at the time. It looks like I've been on here for like 45 minutes and it feels like it went really quick, but I feel like I have a really hard time focusing and sticking to a subject. But I really thank everybody for being here. And so I don't know if I'm going to keep this public or not, but if I don't, I just want to thank everybody that was in here for joining me in tonight and helping me feel comfortable. Oh, I love you too. So, all right. Good night, you guys. Thanks. We'll see you soon. Maybe I'll have a better plan next time.